Back in studio now, joined by MP Rosemarie Falk. Thank you very much, Rosemarie, for taking the time to stop in studio and talk to us amid this very busy holiday season.
Yes, no problem.
Yeah, and speaking of a busy holiday season, it feels like it's been sort of nonstop since the election happened and you were re-elected for this region.
Yeah, it's been go, 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 literally, which is good. It's good to be busy. It's good to be able to hear what is important to constituents and be able to relay that back to Ottawa.
And what's been the thing that stood out most that's been an important talking point for your constituents?
I think a lot over and over that I'm hearing is the fact that the federal government, the Liberal federal government, isn't taking into account our oil and gas sector. Really, with the policies that they're bringing forward, they're trying to basically eliminate oil and gas. And also our agriculture. I mean, we just went through the strike with the CN, the CN strike, and how that's affected the farmers, and of course the carbon tax, right? And how I just read an article the other day or today that Saskatchewan government's going to have to increase the carbon tax because the federal government says they need to. So having these extra expenses and life being more expensive is something that I'm hearing over and over again from constituents.
And so taking that information into account, how do you then bring that forward into Parliament? What's the conversation like when you're there?
That's a great question. So I actually had an opportunity to speak to do a speech on the reply to the speech from the throne. And it was funny because, every question that I was asked, especially even supporting middle class Canadians, I reiterate to the government as much as I can. Well, if we didn't have a carbon tax, life would be more affordable, and groceries, fuel, heating bills would go down, which would help in every scenario, whether you're a student, whether you're a single mom with kids, whether you're a senior, life would just be more affordable having that tax removed altogether.
And the other thing that, of course, has been occupying everyone's mind in Parliament is, since the recent news that Andrew Scheer is stepping down as leader, for many people inside probably weren't as surprised, but it certainly came as a shock when it happened as quickly as it did. What's that conversation been like? And from at least your perspective, where do you think the party moves forward from here?
I would actually argue with you. I think there was many of us caucus members who were very surprised because Andrew Scheer has said that he is going to continue leading the party. So there was, we were surprised, shocked, disappointment, but understand, and I highly respect him for, making that hard decision, right? He's not only putting our party first, but he's also putting his family first. And by doing that, stepping down once a new leader has been chosen by the members of the party, and allowing somebody who does have the time and can put however much time into that, leading us to victory.
And what's a quality you think you'll look for from a next leader? Because obviously there were a couple of particular social issues that, at least polling and certain analysis of the election, say that made a difference in terms of the election results at the end of the day?
I think at the end of the day, we need to have a leader that is going to have integrity, right? I believe Andrew Scheer has integrity. Him stepping down, is one example of that. But that will be one of the most important qualities that I'll look for. But again, at the end of the day, it's going to come out to the grassroots members to choose who they want to lead the party.
And looking back at the rest of the year, you said off camera that since your pregnancy, there's some of the rest of it is a blur. Is there anything that does stand out to you in terms of accomplishments within the House and stuff?
I think, being the voice an effective voice that I have been for the members of Battleford, Lloydminster, the constituents, and being able to just be real, I think being able to have a family, just welcomed our third baby right in July, and just, we experience the same struggles that everyday people here in the Battleford's Lloydminster are experiencing, and just being able to have that realness is probably the most effective way that I am able to bring that back to Ottawa and say, hey, look, for example, this carbon tax, I have to drive my kids around. My husband has to drive the kids around, just like other people do. We're not at this stage yet of hockey tournaments in other communities or that type of thing. But, bringing the reality to Ottawa, because sometimes I think Ottawa doesn't get real life at all and the day-to-day struggles that people face.
And with 15 seconds or less as we wrap up here, what's a New Year's resolution or a Christmas wish that you have for your family heading in?
New Year's resolution, maybe that we can make it to everything on time and not 15 minutes late.
That's obviously a struggle for many people. Thank you so much, Rosemarie Falk, for stepping in and spending time with us in studio.
Anytime.